He was caught by U.S. Marshals actually at her home in Ocoee. Good evening, I'm Greg Warmith.
And I'm Martha Sagowski, and we just spoke to his mother who told us her side of the story. This is the new mugshot of Kathan Guzman. He's in the Orange County Jail tonight. He was mistakenly released 2 weeks ago from a jail in Georgia. He looks different from this old mugshot when his hair was longer. He was convicted of killing his girlfriend, Delila Grayson, back in 2022. We do have live team coverage for you tonight. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews spoke to the victim's mother, who says she is relieved this guy is off the street. But we're going to begin tonight with Channel 9's Scott Martin live in Ocoee. And Scott, you just talked to Guzman's mother.
Martha, I did, and she was very, very emotional this evening in saying that her son did nothing wrong. He was let go on their mistake over in Clayton County, Georgia. Now, just over my shoulder here and just down the street is this morning where she tells me that law enforcement flooded the neighborhood here and then came into her home, got everyone out. She says that her son, Kathan Guzman, willingly gave himself back up to law enforcement after what she says the exact same way he did when he was first taken into custody for that murder of Delila Grayson and then sentenced in 2022. Now, the mother says, I spoke extensively with her this evening, and she says that he called her once he was released from Clayton County. She drove down there to Georgia to pick him up, drove him back here. She says they did absolutely nothing wrong. He wasn't running. He wasn't a fugitive. They weren't hiding, she says. He was at home. She says she even went as far as to calling the Clayton County Sheriff's Office to figure out next steps on what they needed to do, because she said on his release papers that there was nothing telling them what to do. And she's afraid that they're going to try to say he did something wrong, and she says she does not want that to happen.
Nobody can make that up. Nobody's hiding. Nobody's after anybody. Nobody ran. Nobody escaped.
Now, one thing she described to me is that he was ripped out of her life again, and she is devastated because she says from the very beginning, since the situation involving the girlfriend that he was convicted and sentenced for killing, she says he's done the right thing by turning himself in, confessing to the crime, and doing everything he was told to do. Now she's saying that he's going to need some help with mental health, as for what she says the law enforcement officers in Clayton County did to him, again, mistakenly released from jail. Reporting live in Ocoee, I'm Scott Martin, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Scott, interesting report. Thank you for that. And our live team coverage continues with Channel 9's Daryl Matthews, who just spoke to her mother. And Daryl, she said she no longer has to worry about her own safety now that the killer is off the streets.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Greg. Christina tells me getting that call this morning that he was back in custody was like a weight lifted off of her shoulder. She says she's planned to go to her daughter's grave tomorrow, looking over her shoulder in fear. Now she can breathe a little easier.
He's where he should be.
An end to a multi-state manhunt and a sigh of relief for Christina Grayson and her family after learning the man who's been dodging police for 2 weeks is back in custody.
I'm still uneasy. However, to me, he is set to serve the sentence he was supposed to serve.
Friday, the state marshals arrested Kathan Guzman at his mother's home in Ocoee, where he traveled to after being mistakenly let out of Clayton County Jail in Georgia back in March, where he was serving part of his life sentence for the brutal strangulation of 19-year-old Point Siena High graduate Delila Grayson in 2022.
From my understanding, when you're convicted and you're sentenced, within 30 days you transfer to the state prison. He had been sitting in the jail from October until current date. It's 5 months.
Christina says for days, she and her family have been restless as the man convicted of her daughter's death roamed the street due to what the Clayton County Sheriff called a lack of training and not paying attention. Christina says someone needs to be held accountable for the baffling breakdown in the jail protocol.
You allow that error to happen. And then not only that, I mean, a series of people, I'm pretty sure he had to go through to get out of jail. It's not a one-person breakdown, it's multiple persons.
Now, Guzman is currently in Orange County Jail. The sheriff's office tells me he'll be extradited to Georgia. As far as when, we're still waiting. For now, we are live in Osceola County. Darrell Matthews, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.